Hello adventurers, I'm Gray, and oh boy, we have some big news about Hytale. There's been some changes, development is going to be affected, and a whole lot is going on here. I haven't read through this yet, but there is a surprise blog post, in fact 2 of them, called Entering a New Era for Hypixel Studios, an announcement from Simon and Noxie. From what I've heard, this is very important, so we're going to read through this and get us all up to date real quick on what's been going on. Today, we have a major announcement to make about the future of Hypixel Studios. Simon and Noxie have each written letters to the community to reveal the next steps they'll be taking as a team and to explain what this means for Hytale. I'm excited. So, first of all, Simon. Today, we're making a major announcement about the future of Hypixel Studios and taking a huge step forward in our journey from modders to professional game developers. If you've been following our development updates over the course of last year, you'll know that the success of the Hytale announcement changed everything for us. It both raised the stakes and opened up a world of opportunities for our team. And look at this nice image. We have all the Quebecs and our little warrior here and some pumpkins and stuff. I don't see anything too new, so we're going to move on from that for now. We're immensely grateful for the enthusiasm and creativity of the growing Hytale community, and we're committed to delivering a game that lives up to your expectations. That means doing everything we can to level up as a studio, from bringing in new talent to improving our processes to seeking out partners who understand our mission. The success of the trailer opened many doors for us in the games industry. We've had a lot of interest from potential partner companies, and while this has been very exciting, we've also been careful about how we approach each opportunity. It's absolutely vital to us that we act in the best interest of our team, our project, and our players. Alright, and we have another nice little screenshot here of another warrior guy exploring the mountaintop areas. Zone 2, it looks like, or no, Zone 3, sorry, Berea. With that in mind, here's the big news. Hypixel Studios is being acquired by RIOT Games as an independent studio. Oh boy. So, if you don't know, they worked with RIOT Games before. Originally, the funding for Hytale was mostly from RIOT Games, I believe. They were funding the development, but it looks like they've gone through the next step and they're actually being acquired by RIOT Games, which, if you don't know RIOT Games, they're a really big game developer. They developed League of Legends and a lot of spin-offs based off League, and that's what they're most well known for. They also do other stuff as well. But it looks like they're really investing a lot into Hytale and Hypixel Studios, which is interesting, because it's not really what I think of when I think of RIOT Games. We'll continue to operate in the same way we have before, but RIOT will become our parent company and will gain access to their expertise and resources. This means a bigger budget for Hytale, more security for our team, and advisory support from a company that knows how to launch and operate successful, long-running games. That is true. You can criticize League however you want, but one thing that I've always admired League for is no matter how toxic the community is, that's whatever. Like, RIOT Games knows how to keep it in the mainstream, how to keep on adding to it and updating it and keeping a long-lasting game over a long period of time. So if they can do the same thing of Hytale without the toxicity, because it's a different type of game, that would be really cool. Please note that this doesn't affect the Hypixel Minecraft server or the team at Hypixel Incorporated at all. This acquisition only applies to Hypixel Studios, which is the developer of Hytale. It's separate from the developer of the Hypixel server. Alright, another cool screenshot of the Scarrick. I don't think it's a Scarrick den. It's like a cave. Noxie will take my place as the new CEO of Hypixel Studios. Oh, so Noxie is the new CEO. It's interesting. I hope you'll join me in congratulating him. Noxie's been at the heart of Hytale since the beginning, and I have every faith in him as a leader who can ensure that this project lives up to our ambitions. We've been working in this way in spirit for years, and this change will allow Noxie to level up even further. I'm truly excited to see one of my best friends continue this incredible journey. It's been a long 9 years since Rezis and I launched Hypixel as a whole, and this will allow us to step back and be in a better position to advise the team whenever they need it. I'll be focusing my future efforts on my health, family, and the Hypixel Minecraft server where it all started, while still making myself available to Noxie and the Hytale team as an advisor. Okay, so Simon seems to be taking a bit of a step back. He's going to be more of an overseer role, more of a manager. They can ask him for help if they need to, but he's going to be doing basically whatever he feels like doing, which at this point, he's already done a ton. He's already proved himself, and I guess that's fair. And this gives Noxie, which I'm perfectly fine with giving Noxie a chance to really show his worth, to really put his heart and soul into this game and dedicate himself fully to that. I think that's really cool. I'm hugely grateful to the teams at Hypixel Studios and Hypixel Incorporated, as well as everyone who has supported Hytale, created content about our project, or played a Hypixel minigame. Aw, thank you. This has been an amazing journey, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for Hytale. From Simon. And now, we should have Noxie's message after this really nice fan art. Or not fan art, official art, I'm guessing. Look at that, he has a Hypixel Studios shirt on, that Quebec. What is that creature, though? It's like a mini ram. The RIOT Games logo on him. So, from Noxie, as many of you will already know, our relationship with Riot Games goes back a long way. Multiple team members, including myself, are former Rioters. Oh, I didn't know that. You know what, it makes sense why you really partnered with Riot Studios then. And when we founded Hypixel Studios in 2018, we did so with the support of an advisory group of angel investors that included Riot. Then, as of now, we are impressed by their enthusiasm for what we are trying to achieve and are grateful for their expertise. Even so, we haven't entered into this new arrangement lightly. Figuring out what kind of future partnership worked best for the team, the project, and the community was a long and sometimes challenging process. If you are wondering why it was necessary for us to go quiet for long stretches of 2019, well, there's your answer. Okay, so I guess a lot of the reason why they weren't putting blog posts, and a lot of people were getting upset at their lack of communication, their lack of blog posts, was because they were completely changing how their game was being made, what partnerships they were doing, and all that stuff, and they couldn't really do much because there's so much shifting around. Which, to be fair, I still think that it's good to be communicative, even if you're not sure of what's going on, just to let people know that you're listening, but at least that's a bit more of an explanation for it. These processes take a lot of time and careful consideration to get right. Alright, and look at this. There's some, I don't think I've seen that clothes before, and that hat on the character. There's some ingots in there, some cooked fish, and some weapons and stuff like that, and they're exploring a nice underground cave. Looks nice. I like it. Despite our existing relationship with Riot, we've had many partnership opportunities present themselves to us. Riot has been encouraging as we've explored these other options, and highly respectful of our goals, our culture, and our community. In the end, that is one of the main reasons that we've decided to enter this new partnership. Riot understands the kind of company we are and the kind of game we're making, and they're invested in our success. Ultimate responsibility for Hytale still falls to us. The same team is developing the game, and while we'll be expanding and improving our development pipeline, the core culture of Hypixel Studios won't change. We want to create the most empowered player community in the world. I wish you luck with that. There's a lot of great communities out there, and honestly, if you can make something that's even like half as big as Minecraft's community, that would be already one of the best in the world, so I think that would be great. Through this new partnership with Riot, we'll have access to resources, tech, and expertise that will aid us in achieving this goal. Okay, another screenshot here, cooking meat on a stick above the fire. It's holding some sort of potion or bottle of some sort. I don't see too much new, though this is just on preliminary glancing. I know they're aware of trying to hide too much stuff in screenshots. They're not trying to show too much new by accident. Oh, I do notice how on the table, it looks like there's a circle, like there's a glass or something on top of that table and they took it off and it just left a rim. That's a pretty cool detail and I like that. Perhaps that guy who's holding a bottle just took it off that table. This also means that we can set up our first physical office. The new Hypixel Studios HQ will open up in my hometown of Derry, Londonderry. I like that name. Northern Ireland. At first, this new office is going to allow us to bring on support staff to help with the day-to-day running of the company, as well as a new QA, or quality assurance team, to assist with the ongoing development of Hytale. We anticipate plenty of growth in the future, although the majority of the team will continue to contribute remotely from all over the world. You know what, it's a time of quarantine. You know, the more remote contributions you can do, the better. You can find more information on open positions at Hypixel Studios on our jobs page. Everyone watching this video, no. Personally, I couldn't be happier to be beginning this new chapter in our story as game developers. Our dream has always been to grow from our origins as modders to go pro and establish ourselves as a fully fledged game development studio. Entering into this partnership with Riot is a major step for us in that regard, the resolution to the journey that we've been on ever since the Hytale trailer blew up in a way that none of us could have anticipated. Good for all of you, honestly, good for you. It's really great to see a company like that I've watched. Like, I remember the founding of, not even Hypixel Studios, but Hypixel Incorporated. Like, I remember Hypixel's first Minecraft map. And following that, from, like, going from there, up and up, just making that trailer, to starting this, to making the Hypixel server, first of all, and then the Hytale trailer, and then becoming a full company. I think that's a really cool cycle of growth, and I loved watching that. We spent a year figuring out the most responsible way to secure the resources we need to deliver the best game we can make. Now that we've answered that question, we can focus on the really important part. Finishing the actual game. In the meantime, we anticipate that you're likely to have a lot of questions about this partnership and what it means for Hytale. So I'm going to read through the FAQ in just a moment, everyone. Thank you to everybody who's contributed to the Hypixel server and Hytale over the years, and to our community whose continued support of Hytale means everything to us. We can't wait to share the game with you, and I can't wait to play through the game. Also, this screenshot here does seem to have some new stuff. I don't know what that character's holding in their hand, but it looks a little bit different from most of the things I've seen in Hytale. It's fully 2D, and it looks like it might have something to do with a building tool based off the sort of semicircle I see rising off the ground, a hemisphere. And it looks like it might be a paint tool? I'm not sure. Because within that circle, everything's stone, but outside of it, it's a different type of stone or grass and stuff like that. It's like it's changing the whole section to a different block or a different color or something like that. Which is interesting. We'll probably get more details about stuff like that later. So they posted a couple of tweets about it, with the first one being right here. Hypixel Studios is entering a new era in partnership of Riot Games. Simon Hypixel and Noxy Boxy have more information to share about this new relationship, and I'll be posting all the blog posts and the tweets that they posted in the description below. If you want to read them all for yourself, I would highly recommend it because you can look at all the details for a longer amount of time on there. So once again, they have an FAQ that I am about to read through. So here are the frequently asked questions for April 16th, 2020, also known as today. And this is mostly going to be about the new updates with Riot Games. Hi everyone, this FAQ is intended to answer some questions from a recent set of announcements. If you haven't done so, read it. I already read it out to you guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. It's our goal to lay out the facts of this new relationship as clearly as possible. However, if you have a question that isn't answered below, keep an eye on our Twitter feed, and we'll be doing our best to answer additional questions in the coming days. So if you all have questions to ask them, make a Twitter account, send them a Twitter account, and then delete your Twitter account because I don't really like Twitter. But if you want to keep your Twitter account, that's up to you. Once again, thank you. We hope you're as excited as we are about this new chapter in our journey as game developers. So, acquisition FAQ. What is happening to Hypixel Studios? It is becoming a subsidiary of Riot Games. It will continue to operate as an independent studio with Riot as its parent company, who will be in charge of Hypixel Studios after the acquisition. The leadership team will remain in charge of the day-to-day management, but there will be a new board of directors, which will include people from Hypixel Studios and Riot Games, but the same people will be working on Hytale, so it'll still be Hypixel Studios. Is anything changing about the structure? We're bringing on new developers and making some changes to the structure of our internal teams as we ramp up development. These aren't radical changes, and are changes we'd likely have made anyway. Are Hytale developers becoming Riot employees? No, they're still working for Hypixel Studios as employees or contractors. But will Riot developers work on Hytale? Hypixel Studios developers are separate from Riot Games and will be functioning independently, but at times, Hypixel employees have opportunities to benefit from training and mentorship from Riot Games. This is a cool dungeon. It looks like this is definitely a Zone 4 style dungeon, maybe a portal dungeon or something like that. It seems to be in the air. It's like floating up in the air. I'm not sure if it's in the sky or if it's just like a separate sort of dimension type thing where there's just a void below. But this is a cool place, and there seems to be a lot of chests and things like that scattered around. I'm assuming you have to beat monsters and stuff like that to open them or to get to this area in general, maybe. What does this mean for Hypixel Inc. and the Hypixel Minecraft minigame server? Hypixel Incorporated is a separate entity and not being acquired. The team there, including Simon, will continue to serve players on that server, and there will be no significant change to that company or Hypixel minigames. Simon and Resis will remain advisors to the Hypixel Studios team as well as advocating for Hytale, Hypixel Studios, and the wider Hypixel community. Will delay Hytale? It's still aimed to be playable by 2021. Remember that, everyone. Write it on your calendar. 2021, not this year. Next year is when it's aimed to be playable, and that likely means the beta will be in 2021. The full game will probably come out quite a bit after that. No guarantee there, but the plan is to have it at least playable by next year. And we'll continue to keep the community updated via the official blog. Is the scope changing? The incredible scale of the response to the announcement has allowed us to be more ambitious in order to meet high player expectations. However, we're mindful of scope creep. Our priority is shipping Hytale. That's good, because you can always, as long as the game has enough content at the start for people to work with and be creative with, this might sound a bit weird, I actually quite like there being some limitations and not having tons of stuff right away. Because I think people are the most creative whenever they have limitations, and they can come up with the most interesting things using those limitations. And then when more updates are made, people can learn those over time, rather than just being overwhelmed immediately. So long as there's a decent amount of stuff right at the start for people to enjoy for a while, and you just update it consistently, I think that's fine. That's completely fine. Will this change Hytale's technology, tools, or engine? Not fundamentally. We'll continue to develop the Hytale game engine and toolset according to our needs as developers, as well as the needs of future Hytale content creators. Alright. Hey, look at these guys. They're looking pretty dapper. We got ourselves pirate and mustachioed cowboy guy, both having a good time on the farm. Maybe it's the first time I've seen a pirate mage. Does this mean that Hytale will be a free-to-play game like other Riot games? We're still finalizing the business model. We're not required to favor one approach over another. We'll go for whatever business model we feel is best for the community. This question has me a bit worried. I'll go ahead and say, I will not be happy. I'll go ahead and say this, or at least, I'll still play it and I'll still enjoy the game, I'm sure, but I will not be as happy if the game is free to play with tons of stuff you have to buy in-game. I won't like that. And that was my concern with the Riot Advisory Board being there, because I know Riot loves doing that type of stuff. I would much rather pay like $25, $30, even like, depending on how much content, like $40 up front, and having the full game accessible, everything accessible right away, rather than having to pay for stuff in-game in the future. That's just me, though. We'll see what they do. Well, I need to have a Riot Games account to play Hytale. We're still evaluating the best way to structure accounts, and we're looking at many options, including the Riot Games account system, but we're not bound to a particular approach, and we'll choose the option that best meets the needs of players and creators. Whatever option we choose, it will be possible to set Hytale player names independently to the account system we use. So your player name will not be set based off your Riot account username, basically. If that's what they do. Look at this guy, he's ready to blast some aliens. Oh, I like the power lines, though. I like the power lines. What are power lines going to be used for? Is there going to be like actual electronics that use that? Because we've seen cables and stuff like that earlier in electronic devices and stuff, so maybe it'll have a full electricity system. I've mentioned that before. That'd be cool. Is my beta application still valid? Yes. Okay, good. I've registered my interest in creating Hytale content where I receive access to the beta. We'll be launching a Hytale creator program in the run-up to launch aimed at supporting the needs of content creators, and we'll continue to work directly with creators in our community, including YouTube rank holders on the Hypixel minigame server. I am doomed because I'm tiny. It's fine. It's fine. I'm doing it for fun. Will I still be able to reserve my username? We'll still provide a username reservation service, though the implementation of this has proved to be more complicated than we anticipated. We understand how important getting the right username is for players, particularly content creators, so we fully intend to launch a system to account for this ahead of Hytale's release. Will I still be able to create, run, and monetize my own content? Yes. There'll be a lightweight set of rules and guidelines regarding the creation of monetized in-game content, as well as some do's and don'ts. Does this mean that Hytale is in the League of Legends universe? No. I thought everything from Riot Games is in the same universe. Come on! Come on! It must be an alternate universe. Will there be any crossovers between League and Hytale? Our focus is on Hytale, but as opportunities arise for cool experiences like minigames, events, and tie-ins, these could include Riot Games properties as well as other universes. We'll most certainly explore them. And they said other tie-ins as well, other universes, so it might even be beyond Riot Games. They might collab with many other games and many other studios in order to provide minigames and things like that. Okay, so one last thing. Okay, the last tweet from Hytale says that this is an exciting time. This new relationship means more resources for Hytale and stability and security for our team members. We're committed to delivering a game that empowers our community and lives up to player expectations. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. And let me just put this up right now. Okay, so thoughts and opinions on Riot Games acquiring Hypixel Studios. Mixed thoughts right now from me. I wish them the best. I want them to do well, and I'm hoping this will do well. It still has pretty good odds of turning out alright. That's what I think. In fact, the game could turn out even better than before. However, it does bring up some concerns. I would not recommend going down in the Twitter comment section because, as I mentioned, I don't really like Twitter. All the comments on Twitter are negative because only people who post things on the internet pretty much post negative things because people who are positive about things don't tend to post. So if you're watching this right now, which I don't think you are, Hypixel Studios, but if any of you are, then don't worry about that. Do the best you can to make a game that people will enjoy, and don't worry about reading through all these comments that are negative and stuff like that. People don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But I will say that I am concerned. There are concerns because I'm not a big fan of Riot Studios. Gonna go ahead and say, or Riot Games. Not a big fan of Riot Games. They're a big studio. They make a lot of very popular games. They know how to make a game run for a long time, that's for sure. But I'm not a fan of their monetization practices and the way that they delay their games all the time and all that type of stuff. However, if we're taking what Hypixel Studios says at face value, exactly what they say, they still have full control over their development, they have full control over their processes, and Riot Games' only role is to help provide funding and to provide assistance and advisement whenever they need it, and also for like crossovers and things like that. They're basically there to provide the resources to make this a bigger budget, more ambitious game. They're here to make it more ambitious. And if that's all that they're doing, taken at face value, then that's fine. The thing I am most worried about is the payment model for the game. Because if there's one thing that will kill this game more than anything else, that would be making it free to play, but having a lot of things requiring in-game purchases. That would kill it. And I'm just saying that because a big reason why Minecraft was so successful is because you get the game, and all the tools are open. You buy it up front and you can mod it. You can add custom maps. You can download resource packs. Everything's player driven. Nothing is paid for. And a big reason why a lot of people prefer Java Edition over Windows 10 or Bedrock Edition is because, like, people say that, which I think is a bit of an over-exaggeration, but a lot of people say Windows 10 Edition or the Bedrock Edition are ruined by the marketplace because that's a place where you can spend money to buy maps and resource packs and all this stuff for Minecraft. And a lot of people feel like all that stuff should be free because it's community driven. People should be making this stuff for all of us to enjoy for free. And I feel like not many people would buy that stuff other than like little kids playing anyway using their parents' credit cards for the most part. So I feel like nothing would ruin the game more than making that a main part of the game. But if they can avoid that and go for a paid model up front, and then you have the full game and it's all moddable and you have so much custom content that players can make, I think it could still turn out great. We'll see. It's coming out next year, the beta is. And I'm going to go ahead and tell all of you watching this right now, once the beta comes out, if you see problems with it or anything that you want changed, if you don't like the payment model, email them, message Hypixel Studios, tell them how you feel, because I feel like this is still a studio that was built off of the community, and I feel like they're more likely than most game studios to listen to the player feedback and to shift their development accordingly. So I think this is a good time to make your voices heard. In fact, if you're concerned right now about the partnership with Riot Games, I would send them an email and tell them, hey, I want this game to be made upfront with a cost, if that means that there's no in-game purchases, things like that. If that's what you're concerned about, email them and tell them. And I'm sure that they'll take that into account, hopefully, if they don't, that means Riot Games has a big impact on them, and that's an even bigger problem than I would have expected. But that's all for this update. Really, really big update, really exciting, but also concerning. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully it turns out well. That's all for now. If you all enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe for more Hytale content. It really does help me out. And I hope to see you all on the next adventure.